She dumped me for her plan A, got dropped again, then cornered me downtown whispering one sentence I didn't expect. Hi, I'm Damon, 26, lineman for Pacific Power based out of Bend, Oregon. And 5 months before I was supposed to get married, my fiancé accepted another man's proposal while still wearing my ring. Yeah, that happened. I came home from a standard shift, mud on my boots, grease on my hands, thinking about ordering Thai food, and instead I got hit with, "We need to talk." Never in history has that led to anything good, and this was no exception. Taylor, my fiancé of 7 months, who I met 2.5 years earlier at a coffee shop after a brutal 16-hour storm shift, looked at me like she was about to confess to denting my truck. Nope. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Harry proposed to me on Monday." I said yes. I didn't respond right away. Not because I was calm, not because I was mature, but because I couldn't comprehend what she just said. You ever try to restart your phone and it just freezes halfway through? That was my brain. Eventually, I managed, "Harry from college?" She nodded. "Yeah, Harry. We've been talking, reconnecting. The feelings never went away. He's the one who got away. I was with you because I thought he was gone for good, but now he's back and I have to follow my heart." And then, because this is my life, she added, "You should be grateful I told you instead of just cheating." She really said that, standing in the house I bought, wearing my ring, looking at me like I should be thanking her for being so emotionally mature. I told her to get out. Calmly, no yelling, I just said, "Get out of my house." And she looked offended, like I was being dramatic. She packed a bag, didn't even apologize, just kept saying how this didn't have to be ugly, that we could still be civil. She left. An hour later, she texted, "I'm sorry this hurts you, but Harry is my destiny. You'll find someone who deserves you." I screenshotted that message, felt like I might need it later. And I was right. Next morning, I called her parents. Thought maybe, just maybe, they'd react like normal people when they found out their daughter torpedoed her engagement for a guy who ghosted her 4 years ago. Nope. Her dad sounded relieved. "Harry's a good man, comes from a great family. It was always supposed to be him." Her mom, "At least she was honest with you, Damon. Don't be so emotional." Honest? You mean dishonest for months and finally cracked under the guilt, that kind of honest? Hung up on him before I said something I couldn't take back. Then Colton, my little brother, called. "Dude, what happened? Taylor's sister just posted some Instagram story about soulmates finding their way back." I told him everything, from the couch where I was still sitting 14 hours later in the same jeans I'd worn to work. Colton went dead silent for a good 10 seconds, then said, "She actually said you were good enough for now?" "Yep." "Where's this Harry dude live?" "Why?" "I just want to talk." Colton doesn't just talk. He's 5'9", 200 pounds of compressed rage with cauliflower ears and a black belt in wrecking people. He once knocked out a guy for insulting our mom at Olive Garden. I told him to stand down. I got this. Which was a lie. I had nothing. I was barely sleeping, lost 8 pounds in 10 days. Gus, my foreman, finally pulled me off shift after I almost touched a live wire while zoning out. "Go home, Damon. Figure out what's going on in your head before you get someone killed." That weekend, I started digging. Gus brought burritos and his laptop. We sat on my couch, and I typed Harry Calloway into LinkedIn. Up popped the face of a man who looked like an AI-generated biz bro. Perfect teeth, smug smile, hair that looked blow-dried by angels. Regional account manager at a medical supply company. Recently transferred from Seattle to Bend. Then we hit Facebook and jackpot. Harry's profile was wide open, but it wasn't him that caught our attention. It was his mom. Every single post about her son. "Sunday brunch with my perfect boy. Proud of my handsome, successful son. No woman will ever be good enough unless I say so." That last one wasn't metaphorical. We found a 4-year-old comment thread where she bragged about making Harry break up with Taylor in college.
said Taylor was too focused on her career, not family-oriented enough. And now Taylor was back in the picture, without Deborah's permission. Colton looked over at me, grinning. So what you're saying is, Mommy doesn't know about the proposal? Not yet. I turned my phone off, sat back. I'm gonna tell her. The trick wasn't just telling Harry's mom, it was making sure she believed every word. See, I knew if I just messaged Deborah Calloway on Facebook, she'd block me faster than you could say unstable X. I needed undeniable proof, wrapped in a format she couldn't ignore. So, I got surgical. Colton's girlfriend, Haley, worked at a print shop. For $50 and a box of chocolate truffles, she made me a pristine presentation folder. Clear cover, color-coded tabs, fancy paper. Inside, a full timeline. Screenshots of Taylor's deleted Instagram story. Her hand, Harry's ring, captioned, "Dreams really do come true." Texts from Taylor, timestamped, where she told me Harry was her destiny and I was good enough for now. Venue contracts, her name and mine, dates highlighted. Engagement photos. Messages from her sister Kylie demanding I do the right thing and give Taylor the house. And a cover letter. Polite, emotionless, deadly. As Harry's mother, I thought you'd want to be informed before things progressed further. He recently proposed to Taylor while she was still engaged to me. Attached is documentation. Thank you for your time. Now all I had to do was wait for her next visit. Colton came through again. Deborah visits Bend every third weekend, stays at Harry's apartment. Next one's this Saturday. Perfect. That morning, I parked a block away from his complex, watched from my truck until I saw them leave for brunch. Harry driving, Deborah in the passenger seat, giant sunglasses and a scarf like she was headed to church. At 9:12 a.m., I walked up to his door and slid the folder underneath. Then I went to the gym. By 3 p.m., my phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Colton called first. "Dude, she found it. You're not gonna believe this. Eli said Harry left the gym early, totally pale. Some neighbor at his building called it a meltdown." Another call came in from a buddy of mine who worked in Harry's office building. Heard yelling. She was screaming, like full volume, wall-shaking screaming. Turns out, Deborah read every page of that folder. Didn't speak for 10 whole minutes, just flipped through in silence like a prosecutor building her closing argument. Then she exploded. According to Harry's neighbor, she shouted words like betrayal, ungrateful, and after everything I've done for you. 10 minutes in, Harry was crying. By 11:30, he called Taylor. Someone in Harry's building's break room overheard everything. Taylor begged him to stand up for their relationship, said he was a grown man, said his mother didn't own him. Wrong move. Harry's voice turned ice cold. "You'll never understand what family means." He hung up. By nightfall, Taylor was blowing up my phone with unrecognizable numbers, blocked and reappearing through burner apps. "You did this. You destroyed everything. You're obsessed with me." I didn't respond, because I wasn't done. She didn't take the silence well. By Monday morning, Taylor had gone full scorched earth. I woke up to 8 missed calls, a dozen new texts, same tone, "You're a pathetic coward. I hope you rot alone. I'm going to ruin you." Still didn't respond. That afternoon, she showed up at my door. Colton and I were on the back porch, grilling burgers and playing cards. He looked up mid-hand, tilted his head. Incoming drama, front yard. Sure enough, Taylor came storming around the side of the house like she owned the place. Face blotchy, hair wild, red rims around her eyes.
"You did this," she spat. "I know it was you. You sent that folder." I flipped a burger. Didn't even look at her. "What folder?" "Don't play dumb. Harry won't speak to me. His mother called me a manipulative whore in front of half their family." I shrugged. Sounds like a Harry problem. She stepped closer, fists clenched. "You're obsessed. You couldn't just let me go, could you?" Now I looked at her, finally. Calm voice, steady tone. Taylor, I didn't make him choose his mom. He did that all by himself, again. She flinched, like the words actually stung. Colton didn't even bother standing up, just said from his lawn chair, "You should leave now, before you embarrass yourself any worse." She left, but I knew she wasn't done, because crazy never leaves quietly. 2 days later, my foreman Gus called me while I was on site, mid-shift, 40 feet up a utility pole. "Hey Damon, quick question. Did you threaten someone named Harry?" I almost dropped my wrench. "What? No, I've never even spoken to the guy." Gus sighed. "Some woman called the office, said you've been following her fiancé, threatening him, showing up at his gym. She's filing a police report." I came down off that pole fast, spent the rest of the day making phone calls. My buddy Eli at the gym pulled my check-in history. I'd been going at 6 a.m. for over a year before Harry ever showed up. He sent me the logs, timestamps, everything. Better yet, he pulled security footage. 10 clips, different days, all the same story. Me, lifting weights, headphones in, never once speaking to Harry. Meanwhile, he's the one staring at me like I'm Freddy Krueger in gym shorts. Colton's buddy, who knew a paralegal, confirmed it. Working out in a public gym at your usual time doesn't even come close to stalking. The police report went nowhere. But Taylor wasn't finished. Not by a long shot. 3 days later, Kylie jumped in. And when I say jumped, I mean cannonballed into the mess with all the grace of a drunk flamingo. She started telling anyone who'd listen I was an unstable psycho, claimed I was obsessed with Taylor, couldn't handle rejection, was stalking her and Harry. She posted cryptic stories on Instagram. "Beware the ones who smile to your face and plot behind your back," all over a black background with sad indie music. But here's the thing about small towns. People talk. People know. And my crew, we're the ones who restore power when a blizzard knocks it out at 3 a.m., the guys who fix poles after wildfire damage. You don't mess with guys who bring the lights back on. People didn't buy her story. But I got petty anyway, because karma needed a push. Let me paint you a picture of Kylie. 24, fashion degree from an online college she never finished, works at a boutique clothing store her parents still help fund, and drives a white Subaru Outback covered in inspirational bumper stickers. Be kind. Choose joy. Good vibes only. Which made what happened next even more satisfying. See, I'd noticed she parked in the same spot every Tuesday and Thursday night at her yoga studio downtown, like clockwork. Same time, same angle, same little neon mat visible in the back seat. So I had Colton order something for me. Simple, classy, effective. A removable vinyl window cling in bold black letters on a white background. Simply, I peaked in high school. Cost me $8. Colton applied it during one of her yoga sessions like a ghost, walked through the lot, hoodie up, hands in pockets, stuck it on her back window next to Live, Laugh, Love. She drove around for 4 days before anyone told her. When she found it, in the middle of a downtown coffee shop. According to a barista who knew Colton's girlfriend, it was spectacular. Screaming, accusing the staff of laughing at her, crying in the corner, demanding the manager check the security footage. And the best part? The cling peeled off in 2 seconds, no damage, just long enough to puncture her ego like a party balloon at a cactus convention. But the best was still to come.
Because while Kylie was losing her mind, Taylor filed a formal complaint with my company's corporate HR. Yeah, she went full nuclear. Claimed I was harassing her and Harry using company time and equipment to stalk them. Said I should be fired immediately for creating a hostile environment. HR had to investigate, of course, standard procedure. They pulled my timesheets, truck GPS logs, crew assignments, everything. Every single claim, dead on arrival. One incident she mentioned, me supposedly circling Harry's apartment, I'd been on a repair site in La Pine, 40 minutes away, verified by GPS, with 3 coworkers who all signed statements. Another claim, threatening him at the gym, was torpedoed by the security footage Eli sent me. Not once did I even speak to the guy. I didn't need to.
My presence alone made Harry sweat like he was on trial for tax fraud. After 10 days, HR officially closed the case. Gus pulled me aside after the decision. For what it's worth, we know what kind of guy you are. We've got your back. And they did, because right after that, corporate reached out to Taylor directly, told her the complaint was found to be completely baseless, told her any further contact with Pacific Power employees would be considered harassment, strongly suggested she move on. Colton read me the email chain someone forwarded him. Dude, this is savage. They basically hit her with a restraining order made of polite corporate language. And that's when things really started to crumble. Because Harry, sweet, spineless Harry, finally cracked under the pressure. Harry lasted exactly 6 weeks. 6 weeks of whispers at work, of side eyes in meetings, of walking through the break room and hearing his name drop mid-sentence. He couldn't hack it, couldn't stand the heat he lit himself on fire to create. So he bailed, transferred back to Seattle. Didn't even fight for Taylor, didn't make a speech, didn't post a dramatic breakup selfie, just packed his things and ran back to the city tail tucked, like a golden retriever who got scolded for eating drywall. The way I found out? Classic. Harry posted on Facebook, excited to announce I'm taking an amazing opportunity back in Seattle, grateful for the journey, looking forward to the future. Deborah commented within 3 minutes, "My boy knows when to make smart choices. So proud of you." Yeah, of course you are, Deb. Taylor stayed. She couldn't afford to move. Her lease, her job, her reputation all chained her to Bend. But word travels fast, and people in the building knew. Everyone knew. She was the woman who left her fiancé for a guy whose mom ran his life like a medieval court, and then got dumped by that guy again. The whispers got louder. The invites dried up. A mutual friend told me she tried spinning a whole new story, claimed I was unstable, obsessive, that I ruined her happiness because I couldn't let go. Problem was, there were police reports, HR complaints, and all of them led nowhere. There's only so long you can scream wolf before everyone realizes it's just you howling at your own mess. Even her parents backed away. Yep, the same mom and dad who'd pushed her toward Harry in the first place, who had basically thrown a parade when she broke up with me, were now embarrassed because all their country club friends knew the story. Taylor tried acting like she was the victim, but it's hard to sell that story when your ex isn't responding, isn't retaliating, isn't even acknowledging you. That's what really broke her, the silence. But she made one last move. 5 weeks after the Harry debacle, I was out downtown with Colton, Ricky, and a few guys from the crew. We were celebrating the end of a grueling month, 2 major outages, 1 wildfire line restoration, and a lightning strike that fried half of East Bend. We earned our beers. Around 9 o'clock, I felt someone watching me, looked up, and there she was, Taylor. Walked straight over like she'd rehearsed it, hair done, makeup trying real hard, but eyes tired.
Like she hadn't slept in days. "Damon," she said, voice trembling, "can we talk 1 minute, please?" Colton was already tensing in his seat. Ricky stood like he was ready to throw her out himself. I looked at her, long and hard. Then I stood up. 1 minute. We stepped out to the parking lot. She didn't waste time. "I made a mistake," she said. "A huge one. I thought I was chasing something real. But Harry, he was never going to stand up for me. You were the one who was always there. Always solid, always loyal." She paused, maybe hoping I'd soften. I didn't. "I miss you, Damon. I miss us." I looked her in the eyes. No anger, no malice, just clarity. "You told me I was good enough for now." Your exact words. "I didn't mean—" "Yeah, you did. And that was the most honest thing you ever said to me." Her eyes filled fast, tears spilling before she could blink them back. "You don't mean that," she whispered. "We're done, Taylor," I said. "Don't contact me again." Then I turned and walked back inside without looking back. Colton handed me a fresh soda when I sat down. "You good?" "Yeah," I said. "I'm good." That was the last time I ever spoke to her. Ever. After that night, she went quiet. No more texts, no more mystery calls, no dramatic Instagram stories. It was like someone hit mute on the entire situation. But I didn't relax right away. I've climbed enough frozen poles in the middle of night storms to know just because it's quiet doesn't mean the danger's past. Still, life started to feel normal again. I tossed everything in the house that even smelled like her. Photos, wine glasses, throw blankets, gone. I repainted the bedroom a dark forest green, swapped out the bed entirely, got new furniture for the living room, different couch, different vibe. It didn't feel like our place anymore. It felt like mine. The engagement ring? Took it back to the jeweler, got 60% of what I paid. Better than I expected. Used that money to upgrade the suspension on my truck and buy Colton a gift he still talks about. A custom MMA gym bag with his name stitched in gold and a bottle of bourbon he swore he'd never open. Emergency only, he said, like nuclear apocalypse, or if Taylor shows up with twins and says you're the dad. I laughed, but quietly checked that my vasectomy consult was still booked, just in case. The wedding venue was another battle. They wanted to keep the full $3,000 deposit. I expected that. But I also remembered something useful. 2 years ago, a windstorm knocked their power out 3 days before a massive event. I personally pulled a double shift to get their lights back on. Called the owner, explained the situation. He remembered. Refunded 2/3 of the deposit. "Sorry, man," he said. "You deserved better." I heard that a lot those first few weeks. From coworkers, from mutual friends, even from people I barely knew. Word had spread, and apparently people were rooting for me. Funny thing is, I didn't want revenge anymore. Not really. I got something better. Closure. A few months later, I ran into an old friend of Taylor's at the grocery store. We chatted by the freezer aisle, him holding a pint of Rocky Road, me grabbing frozen burritos, and right before we parted, he said, "You're lucky, you know? Dodged a bullet. She's still spinning. Tells people you ruined her life, but nobody's buying it." I nodded, said nothing, just smiled and kept walking. Because he was right. I did dodge a bullet, and not the clean, painless kind. I mean the kind that grazes you, takes a chunk of flesh on the way out, and leaves a scar you carry for a while. The kind that hurts. But it heals. I started hiking more. Took on a few solo camping trips out near the Sisters Mountains. The quiet helped. So did the absence of drama. Colton got promoted at his gym, started teaching classes. Gus nominated me for a Safety Excellence Award after a brutal windstorm repair job. My crew was tighter than ever. We worked hard, laughed harder. And the best part?
I wasn't looking over my shoulder anymore. Every once in a while, someone asks me if I'd ever take her back, if she showed up different, apologetic, truly changed. No, not a chance, because I remember exactly how it felt to come home from work, cold, tired, worn out, and have the woman I was going to marry tell me I was good enough for now. And I remember how she expected me to accept it, how she thought I'd thank her for her honesty while she skipped off with her soulmate. And I remember that when it all collapsed, when reality came crashing down around her, she didn't apologize. She blamed me. So no, I didn't lose something. I reclaimed it. My peace, my future, my damn self-respect. And if you're reading this, wondering whether you should burn your life to the ground just to chase someone who ran off with their plan A, ask yourself one thing. Are you really in love, or just afraid to be alone? I wasn't afraid anymore, and I've never slept better.